Hi, welcome back to the Sunday Serving channel, where you come every week for words from the gospel, words of hope and truth, some salt and some light. We've been doing a series on the Sermon on the Mount, and we're getting near the end of the 7th chapter of Matthew. Maybe a couple more sessions to finish off the Sermon on the Mount. And then I'd be interested what your thoughts and ideas or wishes for other passages from the Bible might be. There's lots of material, there's no lack of that, so we'll keep going. The Sermon on the Mount is so full of amazing instructions, the heart of the gospel, what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. And here's an important message here, chapter 7, starting at verse 15. We just came through this sheep field here, and Jesus says, watch out for false prophets. For false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. So that's an important warning, and it's not without reason that it comes right after his teaching about the two ways, right? The narrow way and the broad way. And I think that's a warning. Be careful that teachers of the gospel don't say false things, don't proclaim words that are against what God wants, what Jesus wants, saying that any way goes. And we should also take it personally, though, because, maybe that warning is something we should take to heart. And we shouldn't misquote anything that Jesus says. But the reassuring thing is, he says, you'll know by the fruits. So what are the fruits? Fruits are what we produce. By the fruits, you will recognize them. So it's not just the words, not the teaching, not the charisma, but the fruits. Here we have some fruits here. An apple tree, it looks like it's a little past its prime for this harvest. And he goes on, do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. So here we have a tree. It looks like it's, the fruit's not that great, but it's really good for apple juice or cider. And I can tell you earlier on, picked some of these apples, they really were good. Great flavor, packed with flavor. I would call it good fruit. But, what does this mean? What is fruit in our lives? It's being faithful to the Gospels. We just heard from all through the teaching of the Sermon on the Mount that we should love our enemies, do good to those who persecute us, be merciful, go the second mile, give a jacket to someone who is without. All those works of love and mercy. I think that's the fruit that Jesus is talking about. By bearing good fruit, the actual deeds of what we do, how we treat people, how we treat each other. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit, you will recognize them. So that's quite a passage to contemplate on today. We're saved by grace, right? It's Jesus' grace, God's grace to us. That's the only reason. None of us are good, so we're not good. But we can bear good fruit if we have love, if we follow God's commandments, if we follow the teachings of Jesus, we will bear good fruit. So let's take that passage to heart. Be careful, not everything everybody says is the right thing. There are false prophets saying the wrong things about Jesus, and I think if their intent is to tear down, to mislead, that's wrong, that's bad. They will be judged. We will be judged if we do that. But if they do works of love, if the fruits are good, pay attention. So everybody have a blessed day. Go out and bear good fruit. Enjoy the harvest. Enjoy the fruits. And God bless you. We'll see you next week. Come on, Remy. Let's see if there's any more fruit down the road here in the raspberry patch.